Thank you. I prepared for this evening. I hope everybody got the memo and you've done the same. The modest requests were that you take a look at an introductory course for comparative religion, that you have a understanding of the outlines of the 12 most popular plays of Shakespeare, that you have more than a vague understanding of the demographic differences between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And the last observation before we start is there is one pun in my presentation. It is for me. It is not for you. So if you get it, just raise your hand and we'll move on. We're not interested in your understanding or failure to understand the beauty of a pun. Bourbon. Neat. No ice. No water. I never drank water. Dick Cheney tortures people with it. And it gives it an awkward aftertaste. When midgets play miniature golf, do they know? I'm not French. No brag, just fact. French people get all excited about that American actor, comedian Jerry Lewis, not me. Jerry Lewis, year after year, would raise a great deal of money at a telethon for muscular dystrophy. Myself, for some time now, I've been mostly against muscular dystrophy. I think the man's just mean. I did have an aunt who used to raise money for syphilis. I thought that was unnecessary. My wife and I have what's called a mixed marriage. I'm a Methodist. She's a Muslim, so we're keeping it in the M's. For the kids, 2 daughters, we're thinking Mennonite, Mithraism, or Mormon. Now, Mennonites have that low carbon footprint thing going for them. It's kind of nice. Mithraism, we have nice carpets, so that's out. And Mormons, I have 2 daughters, and I'm thinking if I play my cards right, I may only have to pay for 1 wedding. So you took the whole course of the comparative religions, very good. Now, when you get married, you have new experiences. But even before that, when you get engaged, I mean, the new experiences when you get married is abstinence, but when you get engaged, it changes things too. Up until then, when you're dating and you end a conversation on the phone or in person, you could end it anyway. See you tomorrow, take care, nice tits, it's all fun. But once you get engaged, the rules change completely. Nobody tells you this. You find it out the same way you find out that somebody closed the sliding door to the patio last night. And I did. Turns out that once you get engaged, you have to end all phone conversations or end all partings with "I love you." Nobody told me. So, I say to my new fiance, she says, "I love you." I say, "See you tomorrow." This was a mistake. But I didn't know exactly, so I walk up to my office and there's this sense that I think I left the back gate open. Maybe I didn't unplug the iron. Did I leave the stove on? Something's wrong. And then this telltale heart thing starts going. Something's wrong, and I don't know what. I go outside for some cool air. I'm walking down the street. Every woman I pass just glares at me. And I go up to them. "What is it? What? You know." "No, I don't." "You should know." And it keeps going on. Finally, I run into somebody who's trans, and she cuts me a break and tells me what happened. And so I know I've got to say that I love you at the end of each one. So I'm ready the next day. Fiance says, I love you. I'm all set. I love you too. Oh, wrong. So wrong. See, if you say it second, you only said it because she said it first, so it doesn't count. And I tried, I said, well, see, the wind is from behind you, so when you said it, it came much faster, and you didn't hear mine until later because it was going against the wind. And I might have gotten away with it, except for the thing about two, I love you too, okay? In 37 of the 57 states, that's admissible in evidence that you came second, the two part. That gives it all away. Doesn't work anymore. So, 2 kids. Now, this is where I need you to be on your feet, guys. Ready? Everybody paying attention and awake? I don't want you missing this next one. I don't want any, oh, I wasn't listening, that's why I didn't laugh, okay? 2 daughters, 8 and 9. They're 13 months apart. 13 months is 1 month more than a year. So my 2 daughters are technically Northern Irish twins. Okay. Explain it to the others, okay? When you do have girls that are that close, I thought Georgetown would have a little more, okay? 2 girls, roughly same age, only a year apart, 13 months. Everything has to be the same. You buy one a book, you buy 2 a book, you make a compliment to one. Grace, you're going to be a great painter when you grow up. Giselle, you paint very well. Giselle, oh, you're going to be a dancer when you grow up. And Grace, you dance so well. Grace, I think you could be a professional boxer when you grow up. Giselle, you really know how to take a punch. They're great kids. I took both of them to the bookstore. They wanted the same book. It's the new children's book out that Sarah Palin wrote. Heather. That's not the joke. Okay, you're trying to get an extra one in for making up on the Irish twins. Okay. New Sarah Palin children's book, Heather Has 2 Hunters. It's been too long? Okay. And then lastly, we went to Costco the other day, and I found the most perfect parking space ever in the history of the world. And I get the kids out, we're heading in, the policeman comes over and says, excuse me, sir, I want you to know you've parked in the handicapped area. And I looked at him and I said, it's okay, sir, I'm not prejudiced. You have kids, you start worrying about making some money. Luckily, I made $20 million a few years ago. Don't laugh at that, it could happen. $20 million, it all started when I got an email from a nice Nigerian gentleman. And when a couple weeks later, he came over with several bags and suitcases full of $20 million. He said, you know, Mr. Norquist, I really appreciate you helping me out on this, but I have to tell you, before you responded, I must have sent 1 million emails. You start with the $20 million, you need to invest it. I've got a new idea, trying to get FDA approval. It's a new approach to dealing with a bleeding disease, hemophilia. Not a lot of expensive drugs and hospitalization. What we're going for instead is a cure dealing with herbs and acupuncture. And I think that that's going to be very helpful. I think the FDA will go with it. Okay. This will be on video. You can back it up and see that last one. The other project line that I've got is you save $1, you earn $1, right? $1 saved is $1 earned. I saved a great deal of money with a whole collection, with a new, very inexpensive healthcare policy. You've probably seen the advertisements on television, late night, the very inexpensive health insurance policy for Christian Scientists. And you're warming up, okay. It's very reasonably priced. The coverage is a tad spotty. But one of the benefits is when you go to see the doctor, the reading room has lots of books. Ready for the pun? Warren Buffett and I both like to look at trends when we do our economic analysis. And I see some trends here. I see disposable diapers and disposable cutlery, even those, a while ago, disposable cameras, disposable toilet paper, all sorts of disposable products. I like that one a lot. And so I invented a disposable end table. You can see this coming already. It's known as the one-night stand. And I'm going to market this, and I think it's really going to work as we do that. Disappointingly, you probably saw the poll that I saw the other day. 25% of American high school students, 25%, that's a quarter, of high school students cannot find France on a map. Now, I do want to assure those of you young people in the audience that finding France on a map is not an important life skill. I myself have been to France several times, and it has never, ever required me to find France on a map. I go to the nice people at American Airlines, and they will find France for me. If I insist, they'll pick a particular city and find it. It's all included in the ticket price. I would be a little concerned if, when I got on the plane and we're heading to Paris, the pilot were to come back with a pile of maps and say, anybody here go to high school in the United States and know how to find France on the map? They almost do that. When you're ready to go, you're sitting down, and they come out and give you a short lecture on how to put seatbelts on and how to undo seatbelts, right? Now, imagine there are 100 plus people in this plane. We're all going to Paris. We're all ready to go. It's time to move. And every one of us drove to the airport, where it's required by law that you wear a seatbelt. And every one of us got out of the car and into the plane, which means at some point, however long it took, we were able to figure out how to disassemble the thing and get it off. But they take a while doing this, and then we're finally on our way off to Paris. This is good. Paris is the Champs-Élysées, Arc de Triomphe, all this cool stuff, the Seine, and at Left Bank. Now there's some downsides. Paris is full of French-type people. Well, you keep backing into that stupid bidet thing and it hurts. And there's no French toast in the whole place. There just isn't. And then worse, your friends do this supercilious French thing where they go, you know, in France we have high culture, like, you know, the symphony and all sorts of ballet and opera. And you Americans, you have the Kardashians and world wrestling, professional wrestling. Now, I'm a patriot, so I got passed on the Kardashian thing, and I'm going to stand on the little easier defense. What's the matter with professional wrestling? And they say, it's fixed. And they said, it's fixed. I said, let me get this straight. We are in the intermission of the ballet, the French ballet Cinderella. I am willing to bet you large quantities of your oddly colored French money that the prince does not go home with either of the ugly stepsisters because it's fixed. It's rigged. And Shakespeare's not any better, right? I mean, Macbeth, does he ever get to win? No. Again and again, it's always Shakespeare. Now, if the World Wrestling Federation ran Shakespeare, right, that sometimes Macduff would win, sometimes Macbeth would win, they'd look at the ratings, they'd move from there. Does Othello ever turn to Desdemona and said, you know, I'm sorry, I should have trusted you, let's have make-up sex? The whole thing's fixed. Does Romeo and Juliet, do they ever sit down and say, before we do anything rash, let's talk this through? It's fixed. Okay? Then, first of all, they make you look at all the old stuff over there. I mean, look what they've done to the Colosseum and all this. But anyway, over in Europe, they've got lots of old stuff, and when they get tired of looking at the outside old stuff, they take all this other old stuff, put it inside, call it a museum, and drag the Americans in to look at it. So they say, we're going to go to the Louvre. And I said, okay, that's good. I'm all set. So we go to the Louvre, we start looking at these pictures, and I'm moving pretty quickly past each picture. And they go, no, you have to stay and appreciate it and look at it and absorb something. And I say, look, I say it slowly and loudly because it helps. Some people in the United States take the Evelyn Woods speed reading course so they can read novels very quickly. Okay? I studied under her younger brother, Bubba Woods, at the Rapid Art Appreciation course. So I can go right past these pieces of art and get everything out of it you would, but I do it much quicker than you do. And I said, I can do the Louvre in 3 hours. And if I have comfortable shoes, 2 hours, 45 minutes. So I'll give you something that helps, particularly at the Louvre, because they have all these corridors, and they wrap around each other, and if you're not careful, you get stuck looking at the same painting a second time and appreciating it for no good reason twice. Okay? So what you do instead is, after you've appreciated the piece of artwork, put a thumbprint in the bottom left-hand corner. That way you know you've been there, and you don't get tricked into looking at it again. You just keep moving. So, when you go to France, you don't need a map. Watch out for that bidet thing. And put your mark in the bottom right-hand corner of the paintings. Thank you.